is no time to rest. Straight to the Six Nations Calcutta Cup action. Chris Jones.
Thank you, Ali. Welcome to our 5 Live listeners. What a start we've had to the Calcutta Cup, which is 13 minutes old, and we've already had a try apiece. Ben White, who scored in 2022 in Scotland's win, here at Twickenham in 2023. He's got another one, White. Russell couldn't convert, but England hit back through Tommy Freeman. Marcus Smith's conversion. England 7, Scotland 5. Scotland then had another good attack. It broke down on the right touchline, but Scotland are forced to scrum Matt Dawson in a dangerous position. They will fancy this one, Scotland, on the cross of the 15 and the 22 in English territory.
Yeah, first job first here for Scotland. They have to win their set piece, ball in, ball it away. You know, Brownie here will be the first to say here how much practice they've been going through on getting the ball in number 8's feet and make the decision. Either he goes, 9 distributes it, but I'm convinced this is key for Scotland. From their set piece, what are they doing from phases, 1, 2 and 3, where potentially they can get some front foot ball.
Yeah, I mean, Scotland have been excellent so far from scrum strikes. I think, it suits their backline. There's more space. You've got 16 forwards in such a tight space. So, but it is pivotal for Scotland to have any success today. Their set piece has got to function.
The voice of former Scotland captain Fraser Brown, a hero here 2 years ago when Scotland won at Twickenham for the second successive time, wins in 2021 and 2023 to go with those wins in Edinburgh in 22 and last year in 2024. A record 4 wins in a row for Scotland. They've had the Calcutta Cup for nearly 1,500 days, but no Scottish team in history has won 5 in a row. We'll go to West Brom as we wait for the scrum. Lee Blakeman, late goal.
West Brom 2, Oxford 0. John Swift on the counter. Keeper had come up from a corner, caught out of his goal, and John Swift put it into the empty net. That should be the game. West Brom 2, Oxford 0.
Nice one, Lee. OK, Scotland concede the free kick at the scrum. Oh, Fraser, having said what an opportunity, what a platform that was for Scotland, frustrating that they weren't able to use it. England have the free kick.
Yeah, I mean, Scotland just can't afford that. Scrum inside England's 22 and just sloppy on the bind, just going early, and it's an easy free kick for the referee to give.
Former Scotland captain and hooker Fraser Brown. Matt Dawson, World Cup winner, with us as ever. So too Paul Grayson on the touchline on this beautiful day for rugby with blue sky above in southwest London, Paul.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's so intriguing being down here, seeing all the little hand signals that are going on. Duhan van der Merwe had a little interaction with Finn Russell, who was 60 yards away from him prior to that scrum free kick. They got something cooked up. It looked like it was going to be van der Merwe over the top and Marcus Smith out wide.
Scotland win the line out. Ritchie in the middle. Here's Fagerson. They're asking the tight head to truck it up. Don't see that too often, but if anyone can, Xander Fagerson can. 15 minutes gone. Compelling first quarter of an hour here on 5 Live. England 7, Scotland 5. Scotland will go to the boot through Ben White. That looks pretty nice. Maybe it's perfectly weighted, isn't it? And Slightholme juggles with it 3 or 4 times. He loses it, but it crucially, from an England point of view, went backwards. So what will England do? Well, they look to go to the boot. They're inside their own territory. Will Stewart's having a decent Six Nations, perhaps a shot for the British and Irish Lions. Andy Farrell, the Lions head coach, is here. He's sitting just below us in the West Stand. There's a stray boot on the floor, and Alex Mitchell ignores that and sends it downfield, where Blair Kinghorn takes it and skips. Nice, good feet for a man well over 6 foot, Blair Kinghorn. Yellow boots flashing as Scotland set the ball up on the 10-metre line. England 7, Scotland 5. 1 try apiece. Ben White for Scotland. And Tommy Freeman in reply for England as Finn Smith comes in from the backfield to take it. And he does that from Ben White's kick. Both sides just feeding themselves out here, Matt Dawson with the boot.
Yeah, just trying to get into their patterns. No messing whatsoever. It's any type of, slow ball, static ball. Both 9s, you can see their immediate communication is, we're not messing around with this. Get the ball up in the air. Let's see who's going to make a mistake.
Yeah, 3 or 4 kicks, each of them taken cleanly, but that time Blair Kinghorn was almost bundled into touch, but no, England aren't able to get him out, and Scotland still have it. 7-5 to England. Really quick start to the game, just slowed down in the last few minutes or so. Earlier in the Premier League, what a game at Goodison. Everton were 2-0 up. Man U fought back to draw 2-2. In our commentary game, West Ham winning at the Emirates 1-0. A big dent in Arsenal's title hopes. Wolves won at Bournemouth 1-0. Palace won at Fulham. It's all away wins, with Tottenham winning 4-1 at Ipswich and Brighton winning 4-0 at Southampton. So all of our 3 o'clock games, all 5 of them, won by the away side. Right, let's go to Coventry. Katie Smith.
Coventry 2, Preston 1. They should have put the game to bed in the second half. The home team, they were wasteful in front of goal, though. Made for a nervy final 10 minutes when Will Keane pulled one back. But they held on. 7th win in 8. They're 1 point off the playoff spots. Coventry 2, Preston 1.
Thanks a lot, Katie. And a stalemate for you, Shojo Saka.
Yes, in League One, the second place team, Wycombe Wanderers, drawing at home 0-0 against Wigan. Fred Onyedinma could have won it in the 90th minute, shot just wide. Poor quality affair with a few chances in this one. Wigan will be pretty happy with the draw. Wycombe stay second, 6 points ahead of Wrexham.
Thanks a lot, Shojo. And Stefan, at the cricket, have England beaten Australia?
No, Australia have pulled off the largest ever run chase against England in a one-day international. England made 351 for 8 thanks to Ben Duckett's 165. Then had Australia 136 for 4. But Josh Inglis, the man born in Leeds, made a quite brilliant 120 to get Australia to their target of 352 with 15 balls to spare. England already in danger of going out of the Champions Trophy. And Australia, remember, no Cummins, Stark or Hazelwood, win by 5 wickets.
Well, what a chase from Australia, with plenty to spare, as Stefan saying. And tomorrow, Pakistan against India in the ICC Champions Trophy. That's 8:45 tomorrow on Sports Extra. What a win for Australia. We were chatting earlier over lunch whether England were in the driving seat. They may have been at one point, but Australia with a brilliant chase. Full time at Rangers, Ailey Barber.
Rangers missed the chance of closing the gap on Celtic. The reaction here pretty much summed up their season. No real cutting edge, no intensity, weak defensively. St Mirren carried out their game plan perfectly. Olusanya and Mandron with the goals, and they end a run of 25 without a win at Ibrox. It's finished here to pile the pressure on Philip Clement. Rangers 0, St Mirren 2.
Thanks a lot, Ailey. And you've got full time at Bolton, Owen Gwyneth.
Bolton 2, Leyton Orient 1. Adam Morley's penalty has given the Wanderers a big 3 points to chase for a playoff place, condemning Orient to a first league defeat on the road since October 26th, moving Bolton level on points with 6th place Leyton Orient. Bolton 2, Leyton Orient 1.
Thanks a lot, Owen, who would have been an interested listener and observer as Wales almost shocked Ireland, but Ireland eventually getting the job done in Cardiff earlier, and Scotland might be getting the job done here at Twickenham. Hugh Jones for the corner. Oh, he's got another one. I cannot believe it. Hugh Jones has a 6th try against England. The Scots just love this fixture. And Scotland have knit an attack together down the left, off a line out, beautifully worked, and Hugh Jones has scored again, Fraser.
It's a great set piece move. I mean, I don't want to say it's really easy. It seems poor defence from England, but nice quick move. Scotland had a great line out beforehand. They got a drive, they get a penalty from it, and then they take the quick option. They hit the front, catch England a bit off kilter, and then it's just good hands. Nice little wraparound sort of dummy play on the 13 channel to give a little bit of space on the outside. Again, Duhan van der Merwe just terrorising people down that left-hand wing, and Hugh Jones just cleaning up in the inside.
Yeah, it's becoming a little bit of a habit. The opposition scoring down England's right-hand side. Paul Grayson's always going to be the right man to see why that is, but certainly for me, that's one of the downsides of Marcus Smith playing at full-back. When you've got, that's a difficult place to defend at the best of times. When you've got a winger like Van der Merwe coming at you, and that's a one-on-one tackle should be made.
Paul Grayson on the touchline. I mean, Van der Merwe to Hugh Jones, we've seen it all before in this fixture.
Yeah, I did a little bit for BBC Radio Scotland before. I said Hugh Jones seems to wear the cloak of invisibility when he plays England, such as the ease he gets to the try line. But that was all about the interactions of getting Van der Merwe over the top of Marcus Smith, whether it's running one-on-one or challenging in the air. He has got the physical advantage, and then some. And a brave finish from his centre.
Oh, brilliant stuff, Scotland, as we've said so many times over the years. England 7, Scotland 10. Russell hasn't been able to convert either of those tries from a Scottish point of view, so the gap is just 3 points as we go to Accrington in League 2. Naz Premji, full time.
Accrington Stanley 1, Doncaster Rovers 2. Grant McCann's side with a good win here. Harry Clifton's opener, a Ben Ward own goal sealing the points. Seamus Keneally briefly brought Accrington level, and Donny survived a late red card for Patrick Kelly. Accrington Stanley 1, Doncaster Rovers 2.
Thanks, Naz. It suddenly opened up here at Twickenham. England 7, Scotland 10. 2 Scottish tries, 1 for England, 3 tries in the opening quarter as England dribble a kick through. And Scotland go quickly, Matt Dawson. That's just the confidence of a team that know they're getting some change with the ball in hand, and they win the penalty.
There is that element of confidence, Chris, but there's also an element of necessity for me. I think that is a definite ploy that Gregor Townsend and his team have got together and thought, we have to break this game up. We have got to make England disjointed. Whether it's first phase, as we've just seen Hugh Jones's try, or it's counter-attack, we're seeing the offloads from Blair Kinghorn and the stepping feet, and some of it is a little bit risky, but I just feel, Fraser, that's how they're going to play today.
Yeah, it's chaotic, and I think Blair Kinghorn's just summed it up there. So, he carries one-handed, loose pass, goes, England turn it over, they go down to the 22, and then he's calling for it straight away, 10 metres from his own line, quick throw. So that is the nature of Blair Kinghorn, Finn Russell. It's chaotic, and when it comes off, it's brilliant. When it doesn't,
you just wince, but it's paying off so far. You wonder whether Scotland would feel they should be more than 3 points to the good, given that they've cut England open on those 2 occasions. England 7, Scotland 10, 23 enthralling minutes gone here in southwest London. Ben White, one of the try scorers. Tom Jordan, who made White's try. That's a good direct bit of running from Jordan. White now to Finn Russell. Russell, lovely ball across the face of the English defence. Kinghorn almost gets on the outside, and again it's this left-hand flank that's causing England some strife. And Duhan van der Merwe, the man wearing number 11, who has just had England's number so many times in this fixture. Big hit coming in by England, but there for Scotland, who are enjoying themselves, and Russell flings another one. This time out to Jordan again. He goes to the right touchline. Ritchie inside to Hugh Jones. It's bar stuff from the Scots. Ball's been lost forward. The referee didn't see it, and now Scotland have it. I think there was a knock-on in there somewhere. But Paul Grayson on the touchline as we wait for the English scrum inside their own 22. What's happening? Why are Scotland able to get round the English defence a few times?
Yeah, they're moving the ball quickly into space. They know they've got an advantage on the outside. They get the ball to Van der Merwe. It takes 3 defenders to stop him. Those 3 defenders have to come from somewhere. England concertina, Scotland go back to the far touchline. An offload here, an offload there, some good footwork, and you're through the back, so it's hard for England to defend. They can put a bit more pressure, make those first up tackles a little bit tidier in the outside channels, put some pressure on the pace of play. They can go and get Scotland, but if the ball's staying alive and is that fast, Scotland will be a handful.
27-18 it was to Ireland at the Principality Stadium, but Wales much improved. A disallowed try with minutes ago, and they could have pulled off a magnificent and improbable victory, but Ireland are 3 from 3. Ireland have the triple crown. Ireland still have this 3rd successive title, this unprecedented 3rd title in their sights. The English scrum trying to go to work. It wins the penalty. Fraser Brown, you're our front row expert. What's happened there?
I thought it was just a good contest, and I think Peter Schuman's getting really worked hard by Will Stewart here. Stewart does pop up early, and I thought he might just reset it, but a referee, I think, inside your own 22, attacking ball, you're always going to get that penalty. But a great contest, and I think it's going to be a big contest all day. We're just watching the replay here. Stewart pops up. I think he's actually quite lucky there.
There's many a Scottish pundit have sat in that seat and would be going apoplectic right now, Fraser. I think you can't say as a general rule it's first to pop up, but Stewart looked in a little bit of a...
I think you're unlikely to get the penalty there as a defensive scrum inside the opposition 22.
England win the line out, having cleared 2 touch. Ellis Genge with a bit of a run up. He runs into Dave Cherry. Only 14 minutes to go until half time. It's flown by here on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and the BBC Sport website. Alex Mitchell will go to the air. England have kicked loads of ball in the first 2 rounds of the Six Nations, and plenty in the opening 26 minutes here today. But Scotland have taken the ball comfortably, resourced it, and Xander Fagerson just does the hard yards under pressure for Maro Itoje as they wait for Ben White to clear his lines. White does just that. It's more of a box kick, actually. They are testing slight home over on this left wing, and Scotland do really well to win the ricochet, and they have it on the halfway line. So good territory game for Scotland, who come alive. And Finn Russell might look for a 50-22. Oh, not quite. Decent enough kick though. Paul Grayson run in front of you on the touchline.
Yeah, that's the whole point about when you've got the ball, in which scenario you get it, where the space is likely to be. England dropping people back, trying to cover all the spaces. Russell sees it, so he knows the space is there to the left-hand side. He was always going to kick it. He just does it in such a casual manner that almost looks as if he'd been taken by surprise, but as soon as that ball was won, he knew exactly where to go.
I don't know whether you could see from where you are, Grace, so low down on that pitch side, but Finn Russell, just to show the talent that he has with the ball, with the foot on the ball, he threw the ball to himself, and the ball was all over the place. Should have drop kicked it, and somehow spiralled it as the ball hit his foot. I mean, his natural talent is a joke.
England in a spot of bother here inside their own 22, but they do have the ball, and Alex Mitchell again will go to the air. England 7, Scotland 10, 2 Scottish tries through Ben White and Hugh Jones, 2 of the Scotland players who just love this fixture. Good clearance though from Mitchell, takes play into the Scottish half. As we touched upon a moment or so ago, in the Premier League today, big blow for Arsenal at the top of the table. They lost 1-0 at home to West Ham. Miles Lewis-Skelly was sent off. A first home defeat of the season for Arsenal. In the early game, Manchester United came from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 at Everton. Tottenham won 4-1 at Ipswich. An away win as well for Wolves. Important one as well at Bournemouth, 1-0. Crystal Palace winning at Craven Cottage, beating Fulham 2-0. And another home defeat for Southampton, who were well beaten 4-0 at home against Brighton. Celtic have lost. They were beaten 2-1 at Hibs, but Rangers couldn't capitalise. They were beaten 2-0 at home to St Mirren. In the Championship, Swansea beat Blackburn as England try to gain this kick, and they do have it over on the far touchline just inside their own 22, so safely in English possession. In the Championship, Swansea beat Blackburn 3-0. Another defeat for Sunderland. They lost 1-0 at home to Hull. West Brom scored late to beat Oxford. And at the top 2 in League One, they both drew. Birmingham and Wycombe. Walsall and Doncaster both won at the top of League 2. And as we're hearing from Stefan, England cricketers quite well beaten in the Champions Trophy, despite a massive total and that big 100 for Ben Duckett. Australia knocked off 3-5-1 with a couple of overs to spare. Marcus Smith inside his own 22, doesn't get much on that kick, and Scotland, Matt Dawson, up the line out round about the 22.
Yeah, still, even though you went through all of those scores, Chris, there was no progress really from either side. A bit of a kicking fest, looking for the mistake. Scotland, Fraser, are all over Ollie Slightholme, aren't they? Kicking it, box kicking, crossfield kicks. They're just saying, go on then, deal with it.
They've just been really clever. They've mixed it up really well. The length of the kick has been good. I think England are probably kicking a little bit too long. But Scotland have been on the money, and they've got a great attacking position now. Still
10-7 to Scotland as Dempsey finds Jordan. Had a good game in the number 12 shirt here, Tom Jordan. And Ritchie couldn't quite get that away, but Van der Merwe's off his wing, and he's got past Slade, and he's almost away. Ridiculous strength from Duhan van der Merwe, who's had his record 6 tries in this fixture, matched by Hugh Jones this afternoon. A remarkable sign of how Scotland have gone in Calcutta Cups over the last few years. They're looking for 5 in a row. They're 10-7 up. They're flinging it from Russell to Jones. Jones puts on the gas, the former Harlequin. Now in the Glasgow midfield, he's only 5 metres out, is Hugh Jones. Half an hour gone. Twickenham muted as Scotland go through the phases. And they're sniffing a third try. Xander Fagerson. English fans trying to get behind their team. Scotland visiting fans imploring their men in blue, who are looking for a third. Finn Russell, wide ball, Rowe leaves it to Jordan. Jordan up against Mitchell, but it went forward, of course, into referee Brousset, and England hang on, Matt Dawson.
Finn Russell just starting to be the puppet master here. Sitting a little bit deeper, watching his forwards, trucking it up, and then pouncing on an opportunity. Little late run to the right-hand short side, causing havoc. You can just see his communication with Blair Kinghorn to say, you ready? Because I am going to switch. You put the pace on. Hugh Jones as well. Really well connected.
Just quick ball, and I think we spoke a little bit earlier about Scotland being a little bit too flat and a bit too wide with the forwards attacking inside the 22. Much more direct in that phase play, quick ball, and the English defence just never really gets an opportunity to fully reset and come hard again off the line, and that allows Finn Russell the time to be able to pick those passes.
It's like there's like a trigger for Finn Russell, and all he's looking for, particularly when it goes into that phase play, is he's watching the rucks. If he sees any kind of dominance in a ruck, where therefore the defence has to just ever so slightly bite in and squeeze, you can see him thinking, that's my chance. So he might not have the answer, but you can see his body lights up that there must be space somewhere.
I mean, he plays so flat to the line anyway, but when he gets that speed at the ruck, and really you're looking at a 2.5 second ruck, when he feels that, then he's gone. He's stepping up straight away, and I mean, he's thrown a miss pass there, which if England have managed to reset and get higher there, they could potentially put that off and go the length. But the speed of the ruck is so fast that the outside backs never get the opportunity to fully reset and go hard in those wider channels.
We've not missed anything because we've had quite a long break as the scrum prepares to form. Both teams taking on some water. Paul Grayson, your view on the touchline of Scotland trying to unpick England again?
Yeah, that's the key to Scotland's game is going to be pace and judging. As soon as the pace comes off the ball, they'll put the ball in the air. But from England's point of view, they've had their early success from a contestable kick, which England managed to catch. All their other ones that they've got near, Ollie Slytone was tap the ball back, which just adds to the chaos if Scotland pick the ball up because they're in behind you. It's untidy work on the left-hand side from England.
Huge scrum. Well, they've got Fraser Brown, a former international hooker, casting his eye over this one. 15 metres or so from the English line. Big old scrum for both teams. Can Scotland put pressure on? Can England hold firm? We're ticking towards half-time as referee Brousset wants a reset. And Fraser, what do you do if you're Scotland here? Do you really try and put the squeeze on and force a penalty?
I think Scotland have just got to be tidy. They have to force England to exit. I mean, the last thing Scotland want is England getting their own line out 20-30 metres further up the pitch. Big solid scrum, force them to have to set up an exit, and then you get another attack. Scotland's line out, bar the first one of the game, has actually been excellent so far. So get the ball back, set another platform, try and get round the edge of that England defence again.
I think the referee would have seen the replay of that previous scrum with Stewart popping up. Now, whether he was right or wrong, you called it absolutely spot on defensively. So he's not going to rush into a decision here because he will want to see what is Stewart doing. I wouldn't put it past the official just to make sure 100% England get this right, or Scotland could nick a free kick.
8 minutes to go of this compelling first half. England 7, Scotland 10. It looks a rock solid scrum from both sides. Tom Willis has it at the back of the English 8, and he picks and goes round the corner, runs into Ben White, and that's a good meaty carry from the Saracen Tom Willis, making just his second start in an England shirt. His brother Jack playing for Toulouse today. Blair Kinghorn, her teammate of Jack Willis's, that magnificent Toulouse side. And England have it back from that kick. Finn Smith doesn't have loads of men outside, but that looks a solid enough kick from Finn Smith. Might even be a 50-22. No, the aforementioned Kinghorn has it, and he just whacks it quite agriculturally but effectively downfield. Mitchell in his own 22 with 7.5 minutes to go of this first half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds on this bumper day of live sport across 5 Live and the BBC Sport website. Over on Sports Extra, Villa Chelsea kicks off in under 10 minutes. We'll be there at full time in the Calcutta Cup. There's live boxing from Saudi at 7:30 too, as England think they've bundled Scotland into touch with Duhan van der Merwe, but not quite. Now Russell tries to manipulate Marcus Smith in the backfield, but he takes it and calls the free kick. Paul Grayson on the touchline.
Yeah, just a fraction too cute there, Finn Russell. There was space wide out on the right hand side. He tried to double bluff Marcus Smith and flick it back into the box on the left hand side there. But Scotland, I find myself looking to the left a lot more. Scotland dominating territory these last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think also I felt there was a bit of an overlap there for England, Chris. I know that the Finn Smith kicked it long, and maybe they're going into that kick tennis a little bit, but you're not going to get many opportunities in this game, and I think England have got to throw a little bit more caution to the wind, ball in hand.
Well, they have to defend the line out here. It's Scottish ball. It's halfway. Dave Cherry, as Fraser Brown was saying, they've been on the money with their line out, and they've got a penalty advantage. And this Scotland side won't need a second invitation to throw caution to the wind with penalty advantage. Wasn't used, but in the air, England took out the lifter or the jumper, and it will be a penalty to Scotland. Halfway line, they lead by 10-7, and probably Matt Dawson are due another score for their efforts before half-time. The Scots.
Good. Scotland have been real good. But very well organised, very well. Well, after probably the first 10 minutes, their discipline has improved immeasurably. The one caveat to the way that Scotland are playing is you are using a lot of fuel in your tank.
Yeah, and there's not enough points on the board. There isn't, and I think that's Scotland all over at the minute, really. There's a lot of endeavour, a lot of opportunities, but not enough points on the board.
Well, can they remedy that here, Fraser? On the 22, ball is loose from Schumann, but it's been tidied up nicely. Is that Jack Dempsey? Well, it's inside from Jordan. That was decent. As Scotland go up to the 22, they're full of invention this afternoon, Scotland, as Fagerson tips it on to Grant Gilchrist in his red scrum cap wearing number 5. Scotland desperately needs something else for all of their phases, for all of their metres made, for all of their incisive attacking play, as Duhan van der Merwe goes up to the 22. 4 minutes left till half-time as Dage flips it on to Fagerson. Slap bang in centre field on this pristine Allianz Stadium turf. Ritchie out the back to Russell. Lovely ball to Kinghorn. Kinghorn's almost through, Blair Kinghorn. He kept hold of the ball, but it went backwards, said Bruce as he juggled with it. And then England do some excellent spoiling. Ollie Lawrence with the counter-ruck. Ben White not happy, but England get the scrum. That's crucial.
Nor should he be. I think the referee's had an absolute stinker there. I mean, England will take it and will get the relief. But I think it may have been Ollie Lawrence coming round the side of a ruck, trying to counter-ruck. And the initial play was he was not part of the ruck. He was never onside, and trying to interfere with Ben White's pass.
Obviously you can't play the 9 at the back of the ruck anymore, or you can't touch them at all. You can counter ruck, and there's lots of chaos around the back of rucks at the minute. There's been a lot of counter-rucking, and then players just not in this game, but just in general, of just collapsing onto the wrong side and just falling on the ball, and it's been allowed because it's part of a counter-ruck, but it's still slowing the game down. And I think it's cute by Ollie Lawrence. He starts counter-rucking, he spins around, he makes it messy. Look, it's great from him. You know, England get rewarded with a knock-on from Scotland, but it just makes the back of that breakdown messy. We're protecting the 9s, but then it's making the breakdown even more messy. So.
And Paul Grayson on the touchline. As you mentioned, you've been looking left, as we all have most of this first half. Would England take 10-7 down at the break?
They'll be happy that Finn Russell missed those 2 kicks at goal. That's absolutely for certain, as Willis here walks wearily off the field, escorted by the physio. Ben Curry, number 21, has stripped off in double quick time. Don't know whether that's HIA or injury to Tom Willis. I'll find that out for you if I can, Chris, but Ben Curry's on.
It looks permanent, but yeah, if you get any news from down on the touchline, Grace, let us know. But Tom Willis looks crestfallen. Ben Curry is on, so Ben Earl would go to number 8, and the Currys would play left and right. The Currys would play left and right, wouldn't they? Okay, Matt Dawson, scrum England. Again, they're inside their own 22. They've been there loads.
Yeah. They've been struggling just to get their exit structure, and then build into, well, what's their play around the halfway line to get them into their pattern. Of not necessarily seeing England go through any kind of phase play.
It's always the box, isn't it?
Yeah. But listen, they scored a try early on by being very pragmatic and going from section to section to section to score. Whereas now you're getting towards half time, there are some weary legs out there, and you want to see Slade, you want to see Lawrence, you want to see Marcus Smith and the 2 England wingers get into play, but you're not going to do that from your own 22.
Yeah, they need to get some territory. England, Scotland need to get some more points, which they deserve for all their pressure, but that's not how Test rugby works, as France will testify a fortnight ago. Marcus Smith, that's a decent enough dink. Kinghorn gathers it up, but he's inside its own half. Oh, good hands to Duhan van der Merwe, who just gets past Lawrence. He makes so much trouble, van der Merwe. Kinghorn inside to Jordan. They're off again, Scotland. And it was started by that man, Duhan van der Merwe. And they're attacking again, and they may have numbers again. Grant Gilchrist, or they're the wrong men in the middle of the park there, Fraser. It was Gilchrist. It was Schumann, it was Fagerson. It wasn't the quick lads. And Scotland's attack just breaks down. but Duhan van der Merwe, 2-3 English players can't get hold of him. He got the offload away. Finn Russell, Jordan, he's making some ground on the right hand side. He gives it on to Kyle Rowe. Dave Cherry's hugging the right touchline. Good burst from Dave Cherry. They're only 6 metres out. Through goes Ben Curry. Oh, excellent work. Whether it was legal or not, the referee was happy, and he's forced a crucial turnover there. Just off the bench, on for Willis. Big intervention from Ben Curry. And Scotland again, Fraser Brown. Great attack, but England scramble.
Yeah, I mean, how that's not a penalty, I don't know. Curry's come crawling through the rock on his hands and knees. But you're right, again, Scotland 5 metres from England's line, no points to show. And they need something before half-time, because England surely will go in at half-time and they'll regroup and they'll come back with a better game plan in the second half than what they've shown in the last 25 minutes.
Again, England down their right-hand flank. Just can't seem to, even with the touchline's meant to be your friend as a defender. And Van der Merwe is, I don't know, he's hurdling over people, he's stepping left foot, right foot, he's offloading. Dare I say, it looks a little bit Jonah Lomu-esque, doesn't it?
It's kind of incomprehensible. He gets it and he's able to beat players, offload.
Well, they're kicking long. They're kicking long to him, and they're giving Kinghorn and Van der Merwe enough time to reset on that left-hand side so they can create one-on-ones.
Just seen a stat that England have gone into Scotland's 22 once for 7 points. Scotland have gone in 6 times for only 10. That's not going to win you test matches if you don't have the higher conversion rate. But surely Scotland will be able to break England down, you'd imagine, if they keep going. England 7, Scotland 10. Scotland line out, goes to ground. Great scramble, England. They win the free kick, and Paul Grayson, the celebration from England shows how much they're under the pump.
Standard celebrations, mate. Anything happens in the game, Ben Earl's having the time of his life, like he's won another World Cup, the lad. But it is an important turnover. I think the referee's having a stinker at the breakdown. Both ways. It was clearly a penalty when Ben Curry turned the ball over there, but England are playing into Scotland's hands. They're as the boys have mentioned, when they're kicking long, they're not getting their chase right, and Van der Merwe, the first hits on him are just making no impact whatsoever.
Well, we will have time for the scrum. 45 seconds to go, and after those 3 quick scores, we've not had many points in the second quarter of this first half, but it has been engrossing. England 7, Scotland 10. What do you want from Scotland, Fraser Brown, and then from England in the final play, Matt Dawson?
Again, just another good platform from Scotland. I think, to England's credit, they've done so well to stay in this game, because it would have been easy for them to be another 10-15 points down. So Scotland have to make them exit again.
Yeah, I mean, I am fascinated to see what they're going to do in the second half against the giant that is causing, the Scottish giant that's causing problems on England's right-hand side. Because where's the answer? It's not like it's someone on the bench to come on. How are they going to possibly stop that momentum, other than, as Paul Grayson's mentioned, they've got to get the kick chase right and stop it at source.
So England win a scrum penalty, the best England scrum of the day. March Scotland back, clear penalty according to Pierre Brousset. And now look, England can tap and take half time, or they could say, right, free penalty, kick up to halfway, if not beyond, and then try and launch something. Finn Smith does that around about halfway. And so maybe, Matt Dawson, England can end this first half with the clock now dead in Scottish territory and maybe come up with something of their own.
I think England will probably back their fitness. I'm not saying they're any fitter than Scotland, but they're using a different kind of fitness because of Scotland's very much wide play. If they get through a few phases, you never know.
Chesham, good line-up ball. Ollie Lawrence through the middle. That's excellent. The offload to Marcus Smith. He's got Curry inside. Still going, Marcus Smith. Jinking footwork, 5 metres out. England need composure. They've got men queuing up to the right. One of them's Lawrence, who scored against France. His offload out the back goes to nobody. Ollie Slightholme cannot believe it. After all that, England should have been in at half-time ahead. What a move. Yields nothing. How about that for a half? England 7, Scotland 10.
Oh, it yields nothing, but all right, listen, Marcus Smith, amazing player, don't get me wrong, but come on, Marcus, that's got to go. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 England players around you. In training, you finish them off all day long under the stick. 7 points, get in the shed, 14-10 up. That's a massive miss.
Yeah, I mean, England should have walked that one in. Even when they went to the breakdown, I mean, Ollie Lawrence, all he has to do there is keep the ball. It's an out the back door, no looker. It's gone about 10 rows back in the stand. It's just that lack of composure for England. They've been under the cosh for half an hour and they've had one opportunity, the last play of the game.
But what I would say is hopefully that's going to give England just that little bit of sort of momentum and encouragement to do what they did. And we've been crying out for England to actually get the ball in hand and start playing some rugby.
And before we go back to Mark Chapman, Paul Grayson, your view from the touchline on that move?
Yeah, to Matt's point, let's see what we can do in the middle third. Prior to that, the whole of the first half, when they've been round the halfway line, they win the set piece, they hit the ruck, they hit Ellis Gaines, then they box kick it. Look what you can do when you give the ball a little bit of air. Brilliant to see Ollie Lawrence in full flight. But Dorsey's right, that was an open goal. Smith missed it.
Well, chappers, Scotland's half, but England should be ahead, would you believe? England 7, Scotland 10.
Scotland have to feel they should be further ahead, don't they, Fraser?
Sorry, what was that?
Scotland have to feel they should be further ahead.
I think Scotland needed to have scored another 2 tries in that half. Desperately good play at times. They've exposed England time and time again down that left-hand side. Duhan van der Merwe, again, the thing of nightmares for English players, but they just haven't converted. And I think, if England come back out at half-time and take control of this game, Scotland will rue some of those opportunities.
Just by the way, Mark, that was Matt Dawson's fault. He asked Fraser to get him some sweets, hence why he didn't hear your question originally. Nothing to do with Fraser.
Sorry, chappers.
That's all right. You're still listening, are you, Matt?
Oh, he's all right. Yeah.
Right.
What was that?
So what do they do about the threat down Scotland's left then? As you say, the answer isn't just personnel on the bench.
No.
So what do they do?
I think we just got to. England have to think about, prior to Duhan van der Merwe getting the ball, how are they going to stop the likes of Blair Kinghorn and van der Merwe setting up this very consistent and replayed right to left arcing run from Blair Kinghorn to then give it to, and that's very, very teasing for the England defence at the best of times. When you've got two great attacking rugby players like Kinghorn and van der Merwe, it's even more impossible. So just wind that back a little bit on that kick chase, maybe pressing a little bit harder, maybe compressing, maybe helping getting one of the back row forwards in that line so the line could be slightly extended. But ultimately they've got to cut it off, because it doesn't matter how good a defender you are. At the moment, 2-on-2, Kinghorn, van der Merwe against any two England defenders, England are coming off second best.
Enjoy your sweets.
Yummy.
Matt Dawson, Chris Jones and Fraser Brown as well, and we'll be back with the second half very shortly at Twickenham. Now the 5:30 game in the football is Aston Villa against Chelsea. Andy Sixsmith.
Where it's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0, 5.5 minutes on the clock. Mark, no win since 15th of January for Villa, but the 2-2 draw with Liverpool in midweek means they've only lost one game here at Villa Park, yet only kept 3 clean sheets anywhere this season. Attacks the best form of defence, isn't it? Chelsea have slipped from title contenders to Champions League chasers in 2 months, but Enzo Maresca, he's been back this week, held a meeting with his entire staff, the groundsmen, kitchen workers, you name it, to ensure everyone was together for a top 4 push. It's worked. Chelsea have had the better start. An early Pedro Neto shot blocked by Tyrone Mings, but it's still 0-0.
Commentary on Sports Extra for that. In the other games in the Premier League today, Arsenal beaten at home by West Ham by 1-0, and they had Miles Lewis-Skelly sent off. Manchester United came from 2 down to draw 2-2 at Everton. VAR overturning a late penalty awarded to Everton. Tottenham won at Ipswich. Wolves beat Bournemouth 1-0. Crystal Palace saw off Fulham 2-0. Brighton thrashed Southampton 4-0. Both Celtic and Rangers lost in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic at Hibs, Rangers at home to St Mirren. In the Championship, Sunderland were beaten at home. Plymouth and Cardiff drew 1-1 towards the bottom. West Brom back in the playoffs after beating Oxford. The top 2 in League One both drew. That's Birmingham and Wickham. The top 2 in League Two, Walsall and Doncaster, both won, and that's because Doncaster go into second because AFC Wimbledon were held at Colchester. England have lost their opening game in the Champions Trophy to Australia. Ben Duckett hit 165, but Aussies reached their total of 352 with 5 wickets and 15 balls to spare. And Ireland are still on course for a Grand Slam after a 27-18 win over Wales, and that won them the Triple Crown. Reaction to as much much of that as we can fit in before the second half at Twickenham after Carl Hartley in the news.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Thanks, Mark. Local media reports say Israel's government has delayed the release of more than 600 Palestinian prisoners from Israeli jails. The exchange was expected after Hamas freed 6 Israeli hostages as part of the Gaza ceasefire deal. The Prime Minister has promised the UK's ironclad support for Ukraine in a phone call with its President, Volodymyr Zelensky. It's the second call between the two since Donald Trump called the Ukrainian leader a dictator. A 3-year-old girl has been killed after a tram and a van collided in Manchester. The toddler, who was walking in the city centre, was taken to hospital but died from her injuries. And specialist drones are being used in the search for 23-year-old Jenny Hall, who's not been seen since she went for a run in County Durham on Tuesday. Sniffer dogs, the Coast Guard and mountain rescue teams are also assisting with the search.
This is the football story of the century.
It's pandemonium, it's ecstasy.
It's an authoritarian regime.
For the past 15 years, English football has been dominated by Manchester City. 8 Premier League titles, 6 League Cups, 3 FA Cups, 1 Champions League. And more than 100 charges.
Somebody turned up at the Etihad Stadium and effectively served papers.
I'm Clive Myrie, and this is Football on Trial, the Manchester City charges.
They believe they've got irrefutable evidence.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Let's go to Villa Park. Deadlock has been broken early on. Andy Sixsmith.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. This is all down to wonderful work by Pedro Neto. Fantastic trickery. Got past Ian Maatsen. Squared it for Enzo Fernandez to stab home his 4th of the season. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1.
Remember, Scotland lead England at half-time at Twickenham by 10 points to 7. Before we get to the second half, let's bring you some reaction to the day's sports so far. Arsenal beaten 1-0 at home by West Ham, and they had Miles Lewis-Skelly sent off. Here's Martin Odegaard with Sarah Mulkerrins.
Well, Martin, how tough is that loss for you and the team and the title hopes as well?
Yeah, big blow. I think the performance today wasn't good enough and really disappointed.
Why do you think you struggled?
I don't know, to be fair. It's hard to say. I think we let them run too easy a few times on the counters. We weren't sharp enough to create things in the box. I think we lacked a little bit on the final pass, the final cross, the final third efficiency. So yeah, we have to see the game back and analyse it, but it wasn't good enough.
Does that come down to the fact that you are struggling with players fit up front?
Obviously we're missing players, but we have to focus on the players that are here, that are available, and I think we have more than enough quality to do more than what we did today, so I think that should be our focus on solving that.
But a big win for Graham Potter and West Ham.
Massive 3 points for us. Really committed performance. Thought the players were amazing. Stuck to the task really well. And delight for them and the supporters, because it's a big win for us.
What pleased you the most about the performance?
Well, it was just really committed. Like I said, really committed performance. Tactically very disciplined. And the players, whilst not being perfect, were close to it in terms of their intention, in terms of their effort, in terms of their understanding what we're trying to do. Really, really good.
Jared Bowen able to score just before the interval. Wan-Bissaka obviously helping him, and there was a moment previous to that where they could have scored as well from that. Was that a big tactic in terms of how to get at this Arsenal side?
Yeah, we try to. It's not easy because they push you back and they've got such quality, but Jared and Aaron and Mo give us a counter-attack threat. We had a couple of opportunities from crosses as well. So I think we defended with resilience and defended with discipline, but we also carried an attacking threat as well, and so that's why I'm really pleased for the overall performance.
At lunchtime, Manchester United came from 2 down to draw 2-2 at Everton. The home side denied a penalty in the final few minutes of the game after VAR intervened over a challenge from Harry Maguire on Ashley Young. Here's Steve Wilson with one of the Everton goal scorers, Beto.
We should have won that game. We didn't. We drew, and we are not happy with the result. We wanted more, we deserved more. But in the second half, we drop a little bit our standards, and against teams like this, you get penalised, and that's what happened.
You got another goal again. Of course, today you'll be delighted with that. It's all about confidence, I guess.
Yeah, it's all about confidence. Today was about being in the right place at the right time. and waiting for something, for the rebound, being active inside the box. I found the lucky, and I scored the goal. Yeah.
What were your feelings about the controversy at the end when the penalty was awarded and then overturned? What sort of view did you have of that?
For me, it's a clear pen, and for my teammates, for all the Evertonians, it's a clear pen. But we should have won the game way before this decision. So we cannot be here talking about the pen, and we need to look to our performance in the second half and trying to get better for the next game.
Both United's goals came in the last 20 minutes. Here's Ruben Amorim.
We didn't exist in the first half. We know that this team is really good on second balls, and we suffered 2 goals like second balls and then fighting for the ball. So we were soft during the first half, but we managed to recover.
Great quality from Bruno's set pieces, of course. It's a great free kick that gets you back in the game, and then it's another set piece that gets you the equaliser. Super finish too by Ugarte.
Yes, set pieces are really important, especially in this competition, so we need to improve in all areas, and sometimes we struggle to score goals and even to create situations. We have to use the set pieces to score.
And I'm going to ask you, of course, about the penalty decision at the end, what your thoughts were.
I think what I saw was a little bit soft touch. So it's a crucial decision that can change a game. I think was clear for the referee to overturn the decision.
All the goals, all the decisions, match of the day, 10:30 tonight on BBC One. In the cricket, Australia beat England by 5 wickets in the Champions Trophy, thanks to a century from Josh Inglis. It was a record run chase for them after England had set a highest total in Champions Trophy history of 351, thanks to a 165 from Ben Duckett, who's with Adam Mountford.
I mean, that was a pretty special innings. I mean, your finest as a one-day player for England, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, my finest. It's just I'm struggling, obviously, just coming off the pitch now, and I'm genuinely really gutted. It's scoring 100 for your country is obviously something that I always want to do. But just when you're on the losing side, it doesn't feel the same.
And reaching your 100 with those sort of flat bat fours, I mean, it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I wasn't messing around in the 90s this time. I think Marnus got me at Trent Bridge with a long hop, and when he was bowling that, I was trying to get there as quick as I could.
I mean, is it a case that perhaps you've had this poor run of form as a team, that actually getting over the line becomes more difficult when you're on a losing streak?
Potentially, I wouldn't necessarily say a poor run of form. We've only played 4 games in 50 over cricket. We've just played against probably the best side in the world in their conditions, and we obviously did struggle. But it's easy to stand here now and feel really sorry for ourselves and stuff. But I guess there were a lot of positives from that game, and this is a competition. It's pretty clear what we have to go and do now. It's probably go and win 4 games.
Back to Twickenham shortly, where Scotland lead England by 10 points to 7 earlier. Ireland clinched the Triple Crown with a 27-18 win over Wales. They had to work for it. The Wales caretaker head coach is Matt Sherritt with Sonia McLaughlin.
We put a clear plan together for the players. We had 1 or 2 things that we thought we could put all our energy into, because there's been no lack of emotion and passion from the boys, and it was just about removing the fear then and letting them go on the field and express themselves a little bit within our structures, obviously.
18 all, were you daring to dream, or did you think, that Ireland will probably do what Ireland do?
Oh, listen, we knew they'd finish strongly. We probably lost some kicking battles in that second half, and if you give Ireland entries, they're pretty good in there. Obviously, the Ellis Mee try or no try was a big moment, but listen, we've created a lot of opportunities, and I thought in general it was a really good Welsh performance.
It is another defeat. Let's not forget that. It's 15 on the spin now, but I just wonder, the atmosphere in that stadium today, the sense of self-belief in the crowd as much as anything. What will that have done, do you think, for the bigger picture in Wales?
The Welsh public have been unbelievable this week. I've had so many messages, so much support. It's been overwhelming, really. So we knew that the crowd would get behind the team, but I kind of always flip it and say to the players, it's our job to engage the crowd, and they want to see 2 things. They want to see emotion and ambition. And as I said, I thought we did that pretty well.
We'll see everything on Rugby Special tomorrow afternoon at 6 o'clock on BBC 2. Still Villa 0, Chelsea 1. That's on Sports Extra at the moment, and it will come here to 5 Live at the conclusion of what we expect to be a cracking second half from Twickenham. Scotland have the lead by 3. Chris Jones.
And we're about to get underway, Mark. England 7, Scotland 10. Blair Kinghorn, the Scotland fullback, is going to do the restart honours, and he sends it from left to right into the darkening Twickenham skies, where it's taken in by Alex Mitchell, who clears his lines, and Scotland will have a line out round about the halfway line. England need to be much improved, Matt Dawson, and for all Scotland's excellence, Scotland need to capitalise if they get the same kind of pressure in the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what the message was for Scotland, for sure. They are going to get chances, they've got to take them. For England, and they've got this position right now defensively. Be set, be assured, be disciplined, get the ball and have a go at Scotland.
Well, Scotland have been the ones having a go. They've got the 2 tries through Ben White and through Hugh Jones, as Tom Jordan sets it up just short of the halfway line. This Scotland team are used to making history. The first to win in almost 40 years here at Twickenham in 2021. They've gone 4 in a row, but no Scotland team ever has won 5 successive Calcutta Cups. They are 39 minutes away from doing just that. They lead by 3, they have the possession. The views of former Scotland captain Fraser Brown, a winner here 2 years ago, to come. But let's see what Scotland can conjure up. This man is the chief magician, Finn Russell. He finds Jack Dempsey, the hard-running former Australian, now Scotland international. Here for Scotland and Grant Gilchrist. But Fraser, is this where Scotland want to be round about the halfway line?
No, I mean, I was just about to say Scotland are set up for a box kick. They just need to be careful about overplaying here. England are giving them space on the edge, but they just need to be wary about overplaying and playing into that English defensive trap.
Well, they've got it back from that box kick as England couldn't claim it. Now here is Russell, lovely ball to Kinghorn. He's up from fullback regally, finds Hugh Jones, who shuffles on the left touchline. Good counteract coming in by England, but their bodies on the floor, hands in from Scotland. England get the penalty. They'll be happy with that defensive set, Matt Dawson.
Yeah, and England slightly changing their defensive commitment here. Very well organised in the line, but a little bit like we were talking after the first half. Where are they going to get those extra numbers to stop the likes of Kinghorn and Van der Merwe running riot down the left-hand side? Well, at the moment, I don't know whether you can see that as well, Paul Grayson, but England are not competing at the breakdown unless it's blatantly obvious that they can get a one-on-one situation on the turnover.
Yeah, and that's how you keep numbers in the line, isn't it? You don't commit unless you've got a reasonable sniff of either slowing the ball down and making it 4, 5, 6 seconds, or getting your hands on the ball and creating the turnover. They'll learn that easily from the first half. Pretty common sense, to be fair, against a team who like to play coast to coast.
And Paul, Tom Willis not coming back on. That's a permanent switch, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Having said that, it didn't have too much to do in the first half, Tom Willis, because England played 0 rugby. They've gone back to the template of one phase, kick it in the air that bored us all to death for all those games last year.
Chelsea lead at Aston Villa. That's over on Sports Extra in the Premier League. We'll have updates here on 5 Live, then we'll join our team at Villa Park at the conclusion of this game in about 40 minutes time, just under, as England attack on the 10-metre line. Good intensity about England so far in the second half with the ball in hand. They come to the right from Mitchell to Genge, 30-odd metres out. They trail by 3, but they have a decent platform here. Curry, Finn Smith, lovely ball. Henry Slade got it away to Lawrence. Lawrence lost it. That synergy almost there, not quite right. Knock on Scotland scrum.
Good start by England, good launch play. What a carry with Ollie Lawrence, I think it was, with a latch onto Ben Earl in midfield, and he just carries the Scottish defence about 10-15 metres. Just seen it here. Yeah, it's a great latch by Lawrence. Just takes Tom Jordan out of the contest as a tackle, and it just gives England that momentum. And then quick ball on the front foot. England just looks so dangerous. If that last pass sticks, just like at the end of the first half, if those passes stick, then it's a different game.
There's been a couple of them, just a bit of patience. You'd expect the leaders were amongst the sides. 8, 9, 10 guys, this is where we want to be, making good progress. Let's just make sure those passes stick, make the right decisions. It will happen. That's a sort of reaffirmation that this England side, of course I say that, and then England give a free kick away, as what tends to happen.
Yeah, we've all been there, but frustrating. I suppose from both sides they'll probably be a bit encouraged in parts, but frustrated in others. England, and Ollie Lawrence is such a great athlete, does so many good things, but a couple of times just that looseness in his play can be costly. The kick from Russell after the free kick gives Marcus Smith a chance to counter-attack. His dancing feet takes play almost to halfway. Finn Smith is back, he puts up a cross kick, but it's neither high or far to make a real impact, and it is back with Scotland eventually, because England knocked the ball on. Paul Grayson on the touchline coming.
Jamie George and Elliot Daly stripped down to their match kit now, so they'll be entering the fray imminently. I'm looking for any movement from the England backline as to who Daly is going to replace. It's pretty obvious where Jamie George is going to go. Straight on for Luke Cowan-Dickie.
Interesting call this. What's happening, Grace?
Ollie Slytone's had the shepherd's crook, and that's a straight swap. Daly's coming onto the left wing.
Yeah, it's a tough one. When you've been targeted by the opposition, you're getting peppered left, right, and centre. It was a tough afternoon. I suppose Steve Borthwick's just put Ollie Slytone back on just to see if he could get into the game in that first 5 minutes. It always feels that's a little bit odd to just have 5 minutes after half time, but
well, maybe it was that extra one drop that maybe made up Steve Borthwick's mind. Ollie Slytone could and should have scored at the end of that first half if Ollie Lawrence's offload had gone to hand, but as Matt Dawson's saying, Scotland's kicking game working England's back three, and now Russell trying to work England with his passing game, out from Jones via Russell to Kinghorn, or Russell via Jones to Kinghorn, halfway line for Scotland. Swing low, sweet chariot, but quite a forlorn rendition as Scotland again attack. Oh, Duhan van der Merwe's in space. We know what happens next. He's almost gone round Freeman. There is just this sense of doom from an English point of view every time Van der Merwe gets going. He's done it so many times in this fixture. A man possessed when England are the opposition. But still just 3 points in it, despite Scotland doing plenty with the ball in hand. Ben White out to try score a Hugh Jones. Little pop to Jordan. They're asking questions all the time, are the men in blue. Slow ruck though for Scotland. To the left they come. Dempsey out the back to Finn Russell. Russell, dummy from Russell. Over to the far side, and Ritchie, who storms into the 22. Oh, what a try would do for Scottish confidence. Dempsey, little tip on and a lovely offload from Johnny Gray. They're only 10 metres out, Scotland. Excellent stuff from the visitors and the Calcutta Cup holders for the last almost 1,500 days. 4 years plus as Jamie Ritchie sets it up. There for Ben White, there's Fagerson, he runs into captain Itoje. Good work in defence from England, ball lost by Scotland, and England cling on.
Tremendous rip from Maro Itoje on the hoof. Looked like it was a little bit of a submissive tackle from Itoje, but no. As it went into his midriff, he got his massive mitts around the ball, and he used his body weight of Fagerson. He used the body weight of Fagerson to make even more power and momentum to rip that ball away. Great play from the skipper.
But it's another opportunity gone for Scotland. They did so well. It's not going to plan for Scotland. It's not their attack shape. Jack Dempsey there almost doing a 360 in midfield with the offload to Finn Russell. But they keep getting to the edge. They keep getting round that sort of right-hand edge of England again. Duhan van der Merwe again down the edge, and then they just a lack of execution when they get 5-6 metres from England's line.
Scotland is super clever at that though, Fraser. That's not happening by accident, is it?
No, absolutely. Obviously, it's something they've identified. They'll be trying to attack that space, especially with Duhan as many times as possible, but they've got to start walking away from these opportunities with points.
And one of England's star men, Paul Grayson, is limping off.
Yeah, looks in some discomfort. Chandler Cunningham-South has gone on into the back row. As Tom Curry hobbles to the bench, grimace on his face, he gets through no end of work, but he picks up some bangs here and there as he does it. Whatever it is, perhaps his foot from the way he's moving, looks very sore.
Yeah, Tom Curry's been outstanding the start of this championship. England have already used 4 of their subs, and we're only 6 and a bit minutes into the second half, but Daly is on, so too in the forwards, Jamie George, Chandler Cunningham-South, and Tom Curry's twin brother Ben. So any plans Steve Borthwick had for his replacements will have to be adjusted. As the scrum, it's a mess, and Mitchell's in trouble. All penalty to England. Fraser Brown, that may have come in from the touch judge, but England get a pressure reliever of a penalty there.
We can't see the far side here, but Ellen's getting his elbow is about a centimetre off the floor, and all that pressure's just leaked over to his side. That is a harsh penalty from a Scottish point of view, but a lot of pressure at that scrum. Certainly the changes at half time, Jamie George coming on, the stable platform of scrums that we saw in the first half is completely changed here.
Really interesting area. England have won 3 scrum penalties at the scrum. And Scotland had to make a late change with Rory Sutherland pulling out. Jamie Batty's come onto the bench. England have Finn Baxter and Joe Hayes. So not a huge amount of experience in either prop backup in both sides. There is in the hooker department for England, with Jamie George winning his 99th cap today and preparing to throw into this line-out as nightfall descends on Twickenham. Alex Mitchell, Ellis Genge, the loose-headed first receiver, just charges into Rory Darsh, who stands firm. But England again will go to the boot. That is a well-worn tactic, and the crowd don't like it. Boos around the stadium, and it's too far again from Mitchell. Duhan van der Merwe is well caught though by Tommy Freeman. Can England put some pressure on this ruck? No, I think it is there for Scotland. Duhan does very well, the left winger. And it's cagey stuff, isn't it, Matt Dawson? Wouldn't have thought after that opening sort of 15-20 it'd only be 10-7. Almost 10 minutes into this second half?
Yeah, plenty of chances, lots of opportunity. But it's from an England perspective, it's just been that last link. It's just been that decision under all the pressure and the noise of the crowd and the excitement. Can you still make the right call? I mean, for Scotland, they have had a bucket load of chances. Really should be another couple of tries to the good.
And Paul Grayson, the England kicking game, it's all well and good, but you've got to get the kicks right, haven't you?
Kicks have to be in the right place. You're looking for an outcome where you either put massive pressure on the defence, force a turnover from a counter hook, or win the ball cleanly yourselves. But England have only attacked from first phase properly twice. They've made 2 clean breaks.
Well, they've won the line out on the 10-metre line, far side from us under the east stand they are, as Chandler Cunningham south. That's an industrious carry from the Harlequins flanker, just 21 years of age. Here's Ellis Genge as England try and just get some momentum going. Oh, is that Ritchie's come in? Brilliant work, Jamie Ritchie, as England don't properly resource the ruck. And Fraser Brown, that's why the former skipper has been brought into the starting 15 to make big plays like that in defence.
Really important intervention from Ritchie. 2 big carries from England, just get them over the gain line. And England have started to win some of these collisions in the second half. It's giving them momentum. So really big, important turnover there by Jamie Ritchie.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that law of someone like Ritchie being able to wait until the players have rucked through the ball and then come in.
A dead ruck is the term,
yeah.
Isn't it? It can go. It's playing the ref, I suppose, because other refs. I think that's the sort of subjectivity of the breakdown. That one went Scotland's way. They've cleared up in between the 10 and the 22. Cherry throws to the front, off the top to White. He hurls it into the midfield, and the strong running of Jack Dempsey. There for White, here's Tom Jordan. Good tackle. That's Finn Smith putting his weight around. That's excellent work by the young man, and it's a penalty to England. Big impact from Finn Smith defensively, and then Ben Earls all over the ball, and England get a very important penalty of their own, and a chance Paul Grayson on the touchline to go back into Scottish territory.
Yeah, good technique from Finn Smith getting in and underneath, and then Ben Curry and Ben Earl making up for the fact that they both cleared the same man at the ruck where England gave the penalty away, rather than one of them clear the first man over the ball and then the second one deal with the second. So they've got their revenge, got the ball back. England on the attack.
Well, he's made 11 tackles, Finn Smith. That was probably the best of the lot. England throw over the top of the line out. Can they get any fluency going with their attacking game? Oh, Chandler Cunningham South almost through, but he knocks it on from Ellis Genge's tip. And Finn Russell, that'll be advantage over. Straight down the throat, though, of Elliot Daly. Elliot Daly, the try scorer, the match winner last week for England against France, as Twickenham tries to get behind the England team, who trail by 3. 11 minutes into the second half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Live on the BBC Sport website as well. The Six Nations continues to enthrall and confound as the ruck is really slowed up by England. I think the crowd felt there was a Scottish misdemeanor, but the referee was happy as Ben Earl sets it up 10-metre line. And this is where, Matt Dawson, we need to see what England have. They're going to go cross-field through Finn Smith.
Yeah, great option, very static. Everyone set up, making a mess.
It's gone backwards off Scotland. Through goes Ben Curry. Through goes Ollie Lawrence. They finally got hold of van der Merwe, and they're counter-rucking England. Oh, back in Scottish possession. Dempsey does really well. England now have the turnover. It is a mess, that breakdown. It's in English possession, I think. Yeah, there's the ball. and it's there for England, but they've got no kind of shape to attack now. Finn Smith wants it, he's coming up from the backfield, he dropped deep for a kick. As Scotland now try and counter up, but there for Mitchell. Here's Finn Smith, Marcus Smith, but Henry Slade is short. He's stood down by Hugh Jones. Oh, the handling's poor from England, and it's been knocked on again, and Kinghorn returns it with real interest. What a kick, Blair Kinghorn. That's a 50-60 metre gain. And Scotland have snuffed out that England attack, Fraser Brown, and taken England to their own 22.
That had to go out the back. Marcus Smith has run about 50 metres and he's screaming for the ball out there, and England goes short. If that goes out the back, England are walking that in, because Scotland have one defender there.
And there's been a common thread, isn't it? Common theme, rather, about this England side. I don't know why, for all of a sudden on this game, they're from the off, England are not recognising the situations that are in front of them, and they have had a handful today, which I thought England had got over that. I thought they were starting to read these off-the-cuff situations.
Making basic handling errors as well. That's 3 in this half, and they get the penalty. That's sloppy from Scotland, Fraser, but England weren't really threatening, only 25 metres from their line, but they take out the jumper and England have the penalty.
Yeah, it's just a silly penalty to give. I think he's done him for hooking his arm in the air, and again it's just relieving the pressure. Scotland have really been under the cosh in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and they just needed England to spend a little bit of time exiting from their own half. As it is, good clearance kick. England have now got a line out on Scotland's 10 metre line. Another opportunity to launch into their half.
And changes for Scotland, Paul Grayson.
Yeah, Dave Cherry making way for Ewan Ashman, and Matt Fagerson has come on. Can't see who for just at this moment.
Jack Dempsey, I think. 8 for 8.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they've done. Just flashed up on our screen, Grace. So England attacking through Lawrence and Bennell. That's better. Can England look after the ball? And they've got a penalty advantage. Finn Smith, that's going to be intercepted. No, Tommy Freeman with a dribble kick. Finn Russell has it. Penalty though for England. Slap bang in centre field. They can kick to square it at 10-all, Matt Dawson.
Yeah, which you'd think ordinarily. Watch any other test match, this goes over. I'm sure England will have a conflab and discuss going to the corner, but please, Maro Itoje, just point at the post and get 10-all. You can, from here, very different feeling on the field. From here, you just maybe think that England are starting to tighten the grip. Maybe, am I allowed to say that, Fraser? Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scotland were in control of this game for much of that first half. Since that break just before half-time, England have been on the front foot. They've been winning collisions. The set piece plays have been nice. It's interesting that that's the third time in a row that they've isolated Finn Russell off first base from line out. You know, Scotland very much a connection defence. They'll come high, but they'll connect there. Finn Russell slightly different. He's coming out the line to pressure. He did it to Ollie Lawrence for that break just before half-time. He's really flying out. England, those late tips on the gain line have caught him out 2 or 3 times, and it's just allowing them to gain momentum in those collisions.
Well, I don't know what it is with this England team, but they always seem to go down to the wire. Marcus Smith, 10 points all. As we approach the hour mark, it looks like we could be set up for another Twickenham thriller match.
Yeah, and the confidence should be oozing in this England side to say, right, okay, yeah, 15 minutes. This was part of the plan from half-time to get better territory, get the ball in the hands a little bit, target Finn Russell in his defence, take our points when they're available. So building. The next job is vital. Exit.
Well, the high towering kick from Kinghorn is taken brilliantly by Maro Itoje. That's much better from Itoje and England, who have some points in this second half. Since that Freeman try and Smith conversion, haven't scored a point for a long old time, but they've now got something. And the kick, it was out in the full from Mitchell. So that's a big territory gain, Fraser Brown, for Scotland. Line out 22.
Yeah, I thought the kick was actually on the money. It was they were kicking too long in the first half, and I thought it was going to be perfect, and it's just drifted out. And neither side really want to take this game by the scruff of the neck. You know, Scotland miss opportunities, England miss opportunities, and whenever they just start to get a foothold in it, they give an easy possession or an easy position back up to the opposition.
Right, let's go to Villa Park. What's the latest, Andy Sixsmith?
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. Villa started coming into the base after Enzo Fernandez's early goal. Ollie Watkins has had 3 good chances, 2 denied by Philippe Jorgensen, but Chelsea still lead 1-0.
Little kick through from Karl Rowe. That looks threatening. Oh, Daly can't touch it down. He's playing with fire a bit there, Elliot Daly. He's got to use all these caps, winning his 71st today is Elliot Daly. But Matt, England they're on their own line over in that far corner.
Yeah, it was a lovely little kick through. Pre-planned, just to make England in the backfield think. Good cover from Elliot Daly, and again needs an exit from Alex Mitchell. Does okay, gets to just outside the 22. But see, this for me plays into Scotland's hands. It's set piece, it's line out. Let's see what Gregor Townsend has been thinking about, what Finn Russell has been thinking about for these set piece moves, because in the first half it's what caused England a lot of trouble.
Commentary, by the way, of Villa Chelsea is over on Sports Extra. We'll be with Chris Wise and Andy Reid at full time here in the Calcutta Cup. About 25 minutes or so to go, but if you want the football, it's on Sports Extra. Scotland line out, nice little peel move. Matt Fagerson, who's been big in this fixture in recent years, as have so many of these Scots. They're looking to make history, win 5 in a row. Lovely ball, finds Finn Russell dancing through. Russell to Van der Merwe. Oh, he kept hold of it, Russell. Van der Merwe was in, but that may have been the right move from Russell if the pass wasn't on. And Scotland are 5 metres out. In a 10-all game, every score is going to be critical as Schumann drives 5 metres out in centre field. There for Ben White, there for Hugh Jones, who crashes into the England defence. Can England get something? No, it's there for White, who comes to the left and finds Johnny Gray for Bordeaux second row. Slightly slowed up from Scotland, but Russell fits it across to Kyle Rowe. Despairing defence. Tommy Freeman does well. Ben White to Jamie Ritchie, having a big game, is Ritchie on the flank. Approaching the hour mark, Fagerson again meeting business from the bench. Ben White, they might have numbers here, Scotland. Tom Jordan, Chandler Cunningham South is off the line with a big tackle to the delight of Twickenham, but they're coming in waves, Scotland. Offload from Hugh Jones to Finn Russell. Blair Kinghorn is excellent from Scotland with the ball in hand, but England have forced them back, and they may have won the turnover if Toje's got in there. What a moment in this game that is, because Scotland were going through the phases, England repelling them, and Maro Itoje, Matt Dawson coming up with a crucial steal.
What a defensive set that is from England. You mentioned in the comms there, Scotland probably 3 metres from England's line, and after maybe 7 or 8 phases, Scotland were on the 22. Unbelievable set of defence and discipline from England. That could be one of those defining moments in the game that really gives the team the momentum to think we've got whatever Scotland take. We have got the strength and the discipline and the organisation to repel them.
Just some big shots from England, and it just kind of put Scotland off their rhythm. I think Scotland felt like they could have broken England 2, 3, maybe even 4 times there, and every single time it happened they managed to just get back, get in control, and I think Scotland just kind of lost their shape. Maro Itoje, you know what you do when you can get away with it ruck time, you know, in test match level. I have no idea how he's managed to steal that ball, but the referee's allowing it, so just a monumental defensive set there from England.
Yeah, it's been one of the main part of England's game has been their work on the floor this Six Nations. They won 5 turnovers to Scotland's 2. Ewan Ashman goes over the top of the line, out, knocked on by Jordan, there for Earl. And the Twickenham crowd hoping that the tide might be turning, but it's still locked at 10 points all as Finn Smith grubbers it through. Oh, that might be nice. Will it sit up for Henry Slade? It does. He has to dive forward like he's in the outfield, but he did pick it up cleanly, and England might just be behind Scotland. They go out the back. Marcus Smith. Ben Earl's having a big second half, and he crosses the gain line. Good quick ball for Mitchell. Marcus Smith. There for Ollie Chesham. That's a big carry from the Leicester lot. In centre field. Past the hour mark now as Scottish bodies lie on the floor. There for Mitchell though. Will Stewart. Finn Smith. Deep to Tommy Freeman's off his wing. He throws a dummy. The England try scorer, but gives a penalty away to England as they dive off their feet. And Scotland survived that reasonably potent England attack. Oh, Russell's gone quickly, but the ref wasn't happy.
No, the ref needs to sharpen up and get in the game, pal. The referee is not up to this pace at all, for either side. Just not up to the pace. These 30 players on the pitch right now are putting everything into it and are desperate to try and win this test match, and are doing whatever they possibly can. You need the officials to step up. Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate for Ben Earl just collapsing in on the tackle, giving the penalty away, because his work rate, his energy, his ability to be in the right place, get near the ball so many times, phase after phase, is incredible.
I just think this game is just going to be decided by whichever team can put together 3, 4, 5 phases of pure quality and hold on to the ball, because at the minute, I mean, there's opportunities on both sides. I mean, England, Ben Earl's unlucky, but England have gone straight through the Scottish line there. Scotland 5 minutes beforehand are banging at the door. Whichever team can just grasp the moment and manage to convert one of the opportunities is going to go on and win this game.
Scotland line now coming on the touchline, Paul Grayson.
Yeah, Richard Wigglesworth just come down from up in the stands, had a long chat with Kevin Sinfield, and they've made the change at 9. You'd expect with Randall coming on, last instructions from Wigglesworth, you'd expect the type of player he is, England to go high tempo for this last 20 minutes and try and put their superior physical conditioning, as they reckon, on Scotland for this last period.
Well, it couldn't be better poised. 62 minutes gone in the Calcutta Cup. England 10, Scotland 10. Both sides need to win to stay in this championship, especially with Ireland going 3 from 3 today. The losers are almost certainly out of it. And if England don't regain this Calcutta Cup, it'll be a record 5th in a row for Scotland. It is on a knife edge on 62 minutes, and that's a big call, your old position, Matt Dawson. Harry Randall didn't get on against France, now he's got the whole final quarter.
I'm saying this is the biggest 20 minutes of his international career right now.
Well, it's an inexperienced 9 and 10. Finn Smith has only got a couple of starts. Harry Randall didn't even come on a fortnight ago. Randall finds Smith, who goes cross-field. And Scotland, I think, on the whole, have probably edged the aerial battle. It's certainly not been anything in it. England like to pride themselves in that area, but they haven't probably had enough change, given the amount they have kicked. And Scotland just go through the phases. How much, Fraser Brown, will the fact that Scotland have won twice here in recent memory help them in these final 18 minutes?
I mean, they'll certainly believe that they can play from anywhere with 1-2 minutes to go and be able to score from anywhere.
England looking to counter-attack from the kick. Ollie Chesham with a powerful run there for Randall. He comes to the right. Will England look to keep the ball in hand? Their first instinct has been to go to the boot, but with Randall on, Finn Smith flat, they are running it from their own half here, England, through Marcus Smith. He's got a knee down, so he's done well to resource the ball. Has Smith. Is there a Scottish body on the wrong side? It's a penalty to Scotland as England hold on. It's Jamie Ritchie again, he's having an absolute blinder.
He's just hovering around the back of that breakdown again. The English clearers go off their feet to take away the Scottish thread, and Jamie Ritchie just jumps in and poaches at the end. Might not like it, but again, he's just playing the referee, and it's a big let off there for Scotland.
His timing's so good, isn't it, Fraser? He reads the situation.
He just sits and waits. Like he's very good at Jamie, just hovering around behind the back and seeing where the opportunity is.
Oh, he's gone for broke there, Russell. I think he's kept that in, has he? Henry Slade. Oh, he saved England there, because Russell, his kick isn't great, but Paul Grayson, Finn Russell wait for the corner flag.
Yeah, he's got the absolute maximum there and missed it by inches. As it is, Henry Slade has hooked his clearance kick, so they've still made some ground, and they do get the throw into the line out. But you can see that Russell is right on the edge. He tried to take a quick penalty earlier on when he wanted to kick the ball long and keep it in play. He knows they've probably only realistically got maybe 1 or 2 chances left in this game to nick it.
Yeah, there's Ollie Chesham stayed down for a significant period of time, I think, had a bit of treatment. He's absolutely fine, but of course it then highlights to the TMO to have a look at the contact when a minute or so ago Ollie Chesham went rampaging into 2 Scotland players, and Carl Rowe was on the retreat and he sort of got headbutted by Ollie Chesham rather than the other way round.
Well, he's very passive, isn't he?
Incredibly passive. Yeah. I mean, I don't see.
But I'm not seeing danger. I'm showing a passive tackle.
Well, the crowd don't like it. There is head on head, and he's too upright. In fairness to the crowd who are making a racket, he is too upright, Carl Rowe. Let's listen in.
There is no high level of danger and mitigation because the player is passive. It will be piqué only against 14. Penalty.
Well, it's a penalty to England.
The mark is on on the Scottish side, 15 meters away from the line out, and 47 meters. Yeah, where you are.
Okay, so that's a big change, Fraser Brown. It was going to be a Scotland line out around the 22. Instead, it's an England penalty, and surely they take the shot at goal on here. If Elliot Daly fancies it, it's in his range, you'd imagine. And he's coming forward, Daly. Is he going to have a go, or are they going to go for the corner?
I think you have to go to the corner here. England on top. England have had all the momentum here.
No, just a
if I'm on that pitch, you're going to the corner, I think.
Yeah, that for me is a field call. I think if Elliot Daly had walked up and went, "Give me the ball," I'm kicking that. No problem with that decision. As it pans out, it's a beauty.
Yeah,
kick in the corner.
Kicking expert Paul Grayson, your take.
Yeah, that's it. Once you've made that decision, unlike Finn Russell missing touch at the other end, Finn Smith's done a great job there, driving England to 10 metres from their line, just what you need from your fly-off once you decide to go for it.
England 10, Scotland 10. 64 minutes gone at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. Not a spare seat in the house. Everyone transfixed on this England line-out. About 9 metres out, Jamie George. Oh, good take, Itoje. England setting up the way. They've got a penalty advantage, England. He was taken out, Itoje, and England are getting a maul going now. A score takes them into the lead. With 15 minutes or so to go. The maul's still moving forward. England have the penalty advantage. Have they got something up their sleeve, or will they ask the forwards to use it? Randall Digsford, he's told to use it by the ref. He's got to obey. Randall now comes to Lawrence, out the back to Finn Smith. Short to Daly, shades of France. He's chopped down. Randall snipes, finds his skipper Itoje, just to the left of the post. 15 minutes to go. 10 points all. It couldn't be closer. As Randall goes to Ben Curry, Finn Smith, short to the England runners. Now here goes Will Stewart. He's under the crossbar. Jamie Ritchie's in there again. But this time England get the ball back. Randall to Itoje. Ben Earls the decoy. Set up by Itoje. Still penalty advantage. Randall providing some tempo. Elliot Daly stepping. Full of confidence after his exploits against the French. Then England lose it. But they'll have the penalty, and now it's another big old call, Matt Dawson.
I don't think it's a big call, Chris. You know what I'm going to say here. It's got to be tremendous defence. I know it was probably on the line, very close to the line for every one of those phases from Scotland. And the referee speaking to Finn Russell about that. Maybe got to be super careful from now on. But it's 10-all, Chris. It's 10-all in a game 65 minutes in. 3 points are like gold dust here.
I mean, this is a gimme. There's a penalty in front of the post, 5 metres out. You take the 3 points, go back, work your way back down the pitch. I mean, the last one was a pitch call, was a feeling call. You're 50 metres away. This one's got to be a 3 points.
They're going for goal. I mean, as you always say, Matt Dawson, there's kind of some unnecessary dialogue from the England Brains Trust, but Paul Grayson, Marcus Smith will throw this over and England will lead.
Yeah, having retained the kicking tee after having an off day against France. He's had 3 nice ones, nice and close. That'll be good for his confidence, but as Dawson just touched on here, test match absolutely tight. Every point available is almost worth double with only 14 minutes left.
Yeah, 14 to go. The voice of World Cup winner Paul Grayson on the touchline for us. One of the best views in the house, inches from the action, just next to the 2 benches, but we've got a perfect vantage point here in the West Stand, overlooking the halfway line, as Marcus Smith to our left bangs it over. England 13, Scotland 10, 13 minutes to go, Matt Dawson.
And the dynamic slightly changes now, doesn't it? Because Scotland have to play. Scotland have to now chase the game, whereas they've pretty much been in control of their own destiny so far.
The views of Fraser Brown shortly, but let's get half-time from Villa Park. Andy Sixsmith.
Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. Only goal of an entertaining first half, 9 minutes in. Enzo Fernandez stabbing home after wonderful wing work from Pedro Neto. Villa have stormed back into it though. Ollie Watkins denied twice by Philip Jorgensen. Frantic game, Chris, between 2 Champions League chasers. Villa 0, Chelsea 1.
Nice one, Andy. Chris Wise and Andy Reid, our commentary team over on Sports Extra. Andy Sixsmith keeping us updated here on 5 Live. Matt Dawson puts his head on the commentary desk. because Harry Randall's kick went nowhere, but Elliot Daly does so well to clean it up. Then he finds his pal Jamie George, who sets it up on his 99th cap. Do England just have that momentum as Finn Smith looks for a huge wiper, but opposite number Finn Russell, his namesake, takes it beautifully. So well positioned was Russell. He kicks downfield. Could be a tactical game of chess in these final 12. England 13, Scotland 10. Fraser Brown, we do know though from experience, you were in the move 2 years ago that retained the Calcutta Cup as Scotland went from deep. They had to score. You did back then. So this Scotland team know they've got the history of scoring tries. 3 points might not be enough for England.
Yeah, there were no lack of confidence there in the Scotland team. They just need one opportunity. They will need one opportunity, and they'll believe either from set piece or from broken play. And I think a lot of it will depend on how England choose to play the last 10 minutes. Will they keep trying to pressurise Scotland, or will they go back to tight? Will they go back to box kick? Will they be ultra defensive? Because that will bring Scotland back into the game.
Got to think Scotland will score again.
Well, it's quite simple for me. You have not mentioned Van der Merwe once in the second half. He needs to get the ball in hand. He is the catalyst for this Scotland side. So far, England doing a brilliant job in defence, like exactly like that on the halfway, choosing the right time to compete, stealing the ball. But you're going back to that sort of more strategic defence from England, is that they have now negated that pathway to doing Van der Merwe, and it's just stopping the momentum of Scotland.
England have won a penalty at the breakdown, and is Finn Smith going for goal with 11 minutes to go? Paul Grayson, they're going for goal. Does Finn Smith have this in his legs?
He's obviously confident. 1 metre inside the Scotland half as the temperature cools, with adrenaline right on the edge. 50-50, it's the bar.
It is slap bang on the sponsor's logo, perhaps a metre inside the Scotland half. He'll have Swing Low Sweet Chariot to accompany his efforts, Matt Dawson.
So now, are we gone are the days now of Elliot Daly just coming up and cruising? This is like meat and drink, isn't it, for Elliot Daly?
Yeah, I mean, he's kicked them in lines, test the siders daily when the stakes are at their highest. Stakes are pretty high here. The Calcutta Cup's on the line. The camera pan to Finn Smith's parents, who could easily be watching him in the blue of Scotland. His grandfather played for Scotland, but it's in the white of England with a 3-point lead on 70 minutes to take England's lead to 6. He's got the direction. I think he's got the distance. What a kick, Finn Smith! And despite their Scottish blood, his parents' hands are in the air. As are loads of England fans around us, they know that's a massive moment. It's far from over, but England have a lead of 6. England 16, Scotland 10.
Yeah, beauty. What a nudge that is. Meat at the bat, effortless, beautiful trajectory, and 6 points in this game feels like a massive arse from Scotland.
That's his first kick of the game, Grace, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you think that his last kick would have been, half an hour before kick-off, it's a long time, but he's absolutely smoked it. Test match animal, I think.
Next score, enormous. Scotland get it. They could even be leading. A converted try wins it for Scotland. If England can score next, it's asking Scotland to score twice in 9 minutes. As Harry Randall this time goes for distance, Matt Dawson. His directional box kicks have been up and down. That one's much better, up to halfway.
Yeah, he wasn't taking any risks while trying to keep that in play. It was just clear. You're not going to see England compete for much on the ball here unless they know that they can jackal and be penalty free. It's a white wall across the pitch and say to Scotland, go on then, what have you got?
Off the back of the line out, Sam Skinner. Dobie at scrum half now with White off. That's nice from Carl Rowe. They're making ground down the left. Kinghorn, he had Van der Merwe outside him. Marcus Smith shadowed Van der Merwe. Scotland looking dangerous with the ball in hand, as they so often do, but they've not scored a point in a long time. They drive on through Gregor Brown, the young lock-come flanker. Tom Jordan is chopped down in centre field, 40 metres out, 8 minutes to go. They've knocked it on, but it was off the knee. Back from Finn Smith to Elliot Daly. 50-22 is on here. He's not overcooked it as he has. Oh, that's a big error from Elliot Daly. That's a monumental error. They had the advantage. He was under no pressure. And he's given Scotland the ball back. Fraser Brown in between the 10-metre line and the 22 as his kick goes out on the full.
Big let off for Scotland. Scotland just losing their shape. They're coming the same way, but they've got everyone parking up on the short side waiting for that return play. Obviously they've emptied the bench now, and then that just little bit of indecision, a little bit of lack of clarity in what they're trying to do. They can't afford that if they need to go and score and win this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I know I'm talking from a scrum half perspective here, because obviously I'm an old one, but your man Dobby coming on the pitch, he needs to just calm himself down, and which is very, very difficult. But he's going through the routines, and he's not thinking about where Scotland are dangerous. And he's going to his pods, he's going to his forwards. He should be just get the ball into Van der Merwe, into Blair Kinghorn's hands, get down the short sides. That's where the benefit's going to be for Scotland.
Ashman to throw, won by Ritchie. Was he taken out in the air? No, the referee was happy, but it is a penalty. It is a penalty to Scotland. It didn't look right, did it, as Ritchie was kind of hurtled from the sky onto the Twickenham turf. Advantage to Scotland, who only trail by 6 as Matt Fagerson drives on. Up to the 22 goes Scotland. Right, penalty right in front of you, Paul Grayson. You had a perfect view of that line out.
Yeah, something definitely went wrong. That was more than the Scottish lifters just promoting their capture forward. England got stuck in. It'll be on the 15. I don't think Finn Russell will have any trouble getting close to the 5 metre here.
He's gone to about, or maybe not as, he could have been a bit closer there, couldn't he?
That's a poor kick for me.
It's 10 metres out, but it's Scotland ball, Matt Dawson. Only 6 points in it. A converted Scotland try. They could win at Twickenham again.
Yeah, to see whether England go up or not. There was so much movement in that previous Scotland line out. It made it very risky. And again, they've gone. There you go. Too much movement for me.
Well, Maro Itoje's made some captain interventions. There was a steal earlier in the half, and there was a priceless line out pilfer there, which has got the ball back in England's hands. And surely one of them just needs to put their boot through it and turn Scotland around a bit. Fraser Brown, what a big opportunity at the moment, goes begging for the Scots.
Yeah, and it's a poor line out, and Scotland, how many more opportunities are they going to get? Dawes, you're right, like at the start of the game.
Randall's been charged down. Hold that thought, Fraser, because Scotland have it back around about where the line out would have been if they'd caught it cleanly. So having let England off the hook, England do likewise with Randall charged down. There for Scotland, 15 metres in from touch, in between the 22 and the England goal line, with 5 minutes to go on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. England 16, Scotland 10, packed out stadium in Twickenham as Scotland drive. England look to steal, but it's still there for the visitors, who have won 4 Calcutta Cups in a row and are a converted try away from being the first Scotland team ever to win 5 successive Calcuttas. Jamie Dobie, Jordan to Finn Russell, who's lurking deep. He gets it out to Kinghorn, who slips over on the far side, but still there. Van der Merwe plays 9. They want him on the ball in a wider channel. Darge sets it up. The co-captain. There's Jamie Batty, who's the late inclusion in this 23. 22, centre field. Driven on by Ritchie, but Chandler Cunningham's out, and Itoje makes some big collisions in the centre of the field. Itoje's been great this second half for England, who have this 6-point lead with 4.5 minutes to go now. Russell, Van der Merwe trying to get in the game as you asked for, Matt Dawson, but England have his number this time.
Yeah, off static ball, Chris. I mean, Scotland have got to change the picture because they're just doing one-up runners getting smashed.
Finn Russell loops the ball out to Kinghorn. Kinghorn just short of the 22, didn't have a load of support. Russell plays at 9. What does Russell have up his sleeve? We'll get the fly-half verdict from Paul Grayson in a moment, but Russell works it to Stafford McDowell. He almost got a man on a short ball. England are defending valiantly. So far they're keeping Scotland out 15 phases in, but Scotland have the class to break this English line at any time. England looking for the penalty at the breakdown. A penalty is potentially match deciding if England can win one. A try now, we're getting to the point where a converted try wins it. Out the back from Scotland, out of play from Scotland, and maybe Fraser Brown with 3.5 minutes to go. That's the moment England regain the Calcutta Cup. Admittedly, with a fair bit of rough play to run.
Yeah, great defence from England. They've marched Scotland 7-8 metres from England's line all the way back to almost the 10-metre line. Scotland just have completely lost their shape, and whether it's the subs that have come on or the back seem to be waiting for that quick ball till they step into the attack, but Scotland have just lost their shape.
It
just needed something.
Play by number 16 of Scotland. It's a contact with a English player of the ball. It's just a PK. It's 40 meters away from the in goal.
England are going to get a penalty here. Ewan Ashman. It's coming from
21 of
the
England.
TMO Tuel Trainini, and he's pretty adamant it's a penalty. Paul Grayson bodies all over the Twickenham turf. Swing low, sweet chariot rings round the Allianz. 3 minutes to go. England 16, Scotland 10.
Yeah, tired bodies. There's not been quite the points fest that we expected in this game, but there's been no lack of effort from both teams. That last defensive set from England took them from 7 or 8 metres from their own try line up to their own 10-metre line. Good tackle after good tackle. Scotland just lacking another dynamic ball carrier. We know their captain Tuipulotu is the sort of player who can break the gain line off a slow ball to give their forwards a rest. They've just not had enough dynamism in the carry to get over England.
It's a great point, Grace. I mean, I think Tom Jordan's been great at number 12, but what Scotland could have given today, Fraser Brown, Sione Tuipulotu, to turn all of this possession into more points. They've only got 10 for all their endeavours, Scotland. England have the penalty, and really, if England play their cards right, they shouldn't lose from here.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, a word for the man actually that just trotted off. Zander Fagerson's 76th minute as a tight head. That probably epitomises Scotland's issues around strength and depth and key players being out. When you're asking your starting tight head, who's been fantastic today, he was still carrying after 75 minutes, but Scotland just don't have the quality to come on that last 20 minutes and make an impact.
Yeah, it's been relatively, I can't say simple, but straightforward, shall we say, for England's defensive set. Whereas in that first half, where you've got all that energy and that extra half a yard of pace, the superstar players can do something, but then all of a sudden everyone comes down to that same speed pool, and England are too organised, too strong up front. I mean, that's 2 or 3 big sets from England in defence.
Oh, they've given a penalty away, England, just as we thought they needed to win the line out, keep the ball and see it out and get that Calcutta Cup back. They've given a soft penalty away, and
no clear access.
Finn Russell will belt this downfield, and Fraser Brown, Scotland are going to have another chance to make some Calcutta history. 2 minutes to go. England 16, Scotland 10.
I said after about 50 minutes that all it was going to take was for one team to get an opportunity. Scotland have got about 2 minutes left now. They need to make it count.
Scotland win the line out. No, they don't. The referee wasn't happy. And
we go again.
They're going to go again with the line out. I think some round the stadium thought that England were going to get that ball. But it will be a Scotland line now, right across the pitch from you, Paul Grayson. We've got a perfect view of what Scotland are going to plot.
Scotland have been really under pressure to win their own ball, as we saw with Itoje's steal. They'll be frustrated they didn't win that first time.
They just about win it, but scratchy ball for Scotland. Duhan van der Merwe's off his wing, but a little bit too static for Scotland's liking. Under 2 minutes to go. Matt Fagerson tries to put some impetus on this attack. Jamie Dobie, they've worked it. Stafford McDowell's gone through. Beautifully done. Can he link McDowell? He's into the 22. He's almost up to the line. Scotland sensing Calcutta history. They could walk this in. Kinghorn, Duhan van der Merwe dots it down. And with the kick to come, Scotland could make Calcutta Cup history. Unbelievable scene to shell-shock Twickenham. Stafford McDowell sliced through. Who else but Duhan van der Merwe scored? And Finn Russell, with the last kick of the game, can win it.
Just a brilliant move. Straight out of Finn Russell, Gregor Townsend playbook. People running left, right and centre. What do we say right from the very start? Set piece, first 2 phases. This is where they are world class. People moving in all sorts of directions. England of course, slightly fatigued with only 2 minutes to go. And the timing of Swaffer's line was amazing.
Finn Russell for the win. He's got the distance. He's missed it. And England fans celebrate behind the post. There will be time for a restart. Finn Russell had a shot for Scottish rugby glory. More Scottish rugby glory. For Scottish rugby history. Some fans couldn't watch. It couldn't have been closer. It missed to the left by inches. The clock is dead. England 16, Scotland 15. But there will be time for the restart.
Man, I'm speechless at the minute, I think. But we said it was just one opportunity. That's all Scotland needed. Finn Russell, that was the moment for him to step up. And not from 3 off the tee today. He needed to nail that.
Finn Smith goes long. That's probably the play. And Scotland have to go from 80. They've done it before. They did it just a moment ago. But if England hold their discipline and their defence stands up, England will get this Calcutta Cup back in enthralling, unbelievable fashion. Blair Kinghorn looks to run it out. Finn Russell's kick could have won it. Could have kept the Calcutta Cup in Scotland. Could have won it for a 5th successive year for the first time ever. Scotland trying to attack, but England have them where they want them on their own 22. England 16, Scotland 15. Dobie comes to the right. They go out the back. Finn Russell, lovely ball across the face. Can they just get in some kind of range? Blair Kinghorn is caught by Chandler Cunningham South. Tackle is the call from referee Brousset. The ball there for Dobie. And then it's forward off for Toje. They've got to play here, Scotland. They've got to keep going. Co-captain Russell. Swing low round the Allianz. Dobie to the left. Russell's on the floor, so someone else needs to create the spark. Maybe it's Rory Dawes, the other skipper. Oh, it's going to be a penalty, Scotland. It's going to be a penalty, Scotland. Toje knocked it on in the tackle, according to the TMO. So Scotland will have one last chance with the penalty, but will they look to run it anyway? Russell, wide it comes to Kinghorn. Kinghorn hugging the right touchline, then stepping inside.
I'm not sure they'll want the penalty, Jonesy. That means they have a line out. The line out's a bit of shambles for Scotland. They'll want to play.
Paul Grayson, your verdict to Scotland. Try and counter-attack. They get another penalty.
They can absolutely chance their arm with the penalty advantage. You're up against it from 75. I know what Dawson's talking about. They don't want to have to try and go and win another set piece, but if they can move up 30 yards up the field and try and pick off one of those two-phase plays like they've just done, because England are vulnerable around the breakdowns. They just proved they've only gone there once and they made a break.
Can you talk again, Fraser?
No, it's never easy being a Scotland fan. Scotland are going to get one more opportunity to try and go and win this game, but I mean, they've struggled so much in this second half to win clean ball at the line out. You know, in the first half, Cherry, Gilchrist, Johnny Gray, they were winning clean set piece after clean set piece. They need one. They've got one opportunity. What are they going to go to? Shorting line out? Are they going to try and steal another cheeky one on the floor?
Well, listen to the noise. The stadium has come alive as Scotland win it at the tail through Gregor Brown. A penalty is now in Scotland's range almost, Matt. And that's a really good move from Scotland, who have given England a few get-out-of-jails. But can Scotland work something? We're 3 minutes into added-on time. It's the final play. Out the back, Russell's pass is loose. Left by Kinghorn. Picked up by Kyle Rowe. In goes Smith. In goes Daly. In goes Henry Slade. They have held that up for a maul. I think this is going to be it. England are going to win it now. The crowd know it. The England players know it. Some of them have their arms in the air. The scrum is given by referee Brousset. And England have got the Calcutta Cup back by the skin of their teeth. By the skin of that left upright. Scotland scored a worldie of a try again that gave Russell a chance to win it. He missed. And England held firm just about. England players almost too spent to celebrate, but after almost 1,500 days, England have got that Calcutta Cup back, but how close it was.
Yeah, brilliant game for a 16-15 these days international with so many opportunities. The game going swinging to and fro for both sides. It was a brilliant watch, captivating. The defence, the energy from both sides, phenomenal. But, you know, England, again, have proven that they can hang on. And I know there have been some kicks missed, but they're up against it. Scotland played really well today, had a load of opportunities, and England stuck to their guns. They came out in that second half, and you know, they thoroughly deserved that win today, particularly because of that second half performance.
England 16, Scotland 15. But Fraser Brown, you've been here when Scotland have pulled off something special in this stadium, and how close they were to doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Scotland were excellent in the first half for the 35 minutes, but I mean, England did so well to stay in the contest. Yes, Scotland could have converted, there was missed kicks at goals, you're right, but England did so well to just stay in at half-time. And we said at half-time, would they be happy going in, you know, 3 points down or level at 10-10, and they came out and they took control of the game in the second half. And Scotland just could never really get their way back into the game.
Well, for Scotland, that's almost certainly it when it comes to Six Nations title. They've lost 2 of their first 3. But England, having lost to Ireland on the opening weekend, have beaten France just and beaten Scotland just. Your view from the touchline, Paul Grayson, before we go to check in with our boxing team in Saudi. Grace.
Yeah, just so tense down here. You could see when Scotland scored that try that everybody held their breath. Their bench were up. Finn Russell will be disappointed with 0 return from the boot today. But what about the shot from just about halfway from Finn Smith? We talked about those two in the build-up. Who was going to get the upper hand? Well, it was the youngster in the end.